Disney is a land. It's
Yeah.
like Narnia is a land. Narnia is not a world.
Well, it's like
it's a
Miss
land.
America versus Miss Universe.
Yeah.
It's Miss Universe. Oh, we're talking about the universe. What about you're discriminated against someone in like some other galaxy, like the Andromeda galaxy? If you're going to call them Miss Universe, I want to see people with like 7 heads and tentacles.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Golden Bachelorette recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
Doing good. You look nice. I like your hair.
Okay, so you like my hair.
I like this curl you got going here.
Oh, it's facing in the wrong direction. But I did get my hair done, and I'm not into it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not into the color.
Well, I didn't ask for it to be colored. I wanted it to be toned, but there was a misunderstanding, and he just wiped out all my highlights.
So your hair is darker than it would be even in its darkest natural state.
No, now, because I went back and they used some like thing on it to lighten it, like to lift it up slightly, but now it's like redder than I want. So in general, I'm just not thrilled about my hair. The cut's fine.
You know, being not thrilled about your haircut is one of the most upsetting things I find these days.
Touche, Andy. It's awfully rich coming from you. You were so upset about your last haircut.
Well, that's why I haven't gotten a haircut. I haven't gotten a haircut in 3 months. I'm protesting haircuts.
You know, we're becoming those people that just never got their haircut.
Yeah.
I feel like as we get older and older, we're just going to like become shaggier and shaggier.
Well, I never am happy after a haircut, so I'm just pushing it off.
Is it change?
indefinitely.
Is it the change that we have a hard time with? Because I don't mind. Look, I don't mind my haircut. It's the color, which now is not as bad, granted. But in the ads for this episode, Shandy's, you will see the color it was when I first left the salon, and you'll see what I mean. It's too dark.
Is it possible that we care more about this conversation than anyone else?
Yes.
Okay, let's get on with this recap.
We will get recap. Is that our housekeeping? Us whining
No,
about
we
our hair?
also are recapping Love is Blind.
Oh, yes. Housekeeping. By popular request, we did do a poll over on Instagram, and Love is Blind Season 7 won by a long shot.
Long shot.
It slaughtered Love is Blind. What was
Argentina.
it? Argentina. Yeah, completely slaughtered it. So we'll be recapping retroactively Love is Blind Season 7. So if you, for some reason, didn't watch Love is Blind while it was airing or while it was first coming out, this is your opportunity to watch along with us. Yeah. I'm also very curious about a certain contestant. I keep hearing about this Taylor.
Huh.
This Taylor person. Everyone says Taylor. She reminds me of you. I've been hearing this for like a month.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
in relation to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always, isn't it funny when someone's like, oh, this person reminds me of you. And you look at them and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, it's weird because you don't necessarily see yourself the way the world sees you.
Well, what's funny is it never, unless it's like staggeringly complimentary.
Yeah.
For me, it's always a loss because if I think the person stinks, then I feel bad about myself. But if I think the person is pretty good, then I'm like, oh, then I'm just like that person. I'm just a derivative person.
Oh, you don't feel unique.
Right.
I remember one time when I was little, there was this local newspaper article about some summer camp, and there was a little girl, like a girl my age, on the front, like advertising this camp. And I remember looking at her and being like, oh my God, that's me. Like I had never seen someone look so much like me. I thought it could be me.
Oh, you forgot you did a cover of a camp magazine?
Well, it was like a photo taken from camp. It wasn't a cover photo, but nonetheless, I looked at it and I was like, oh wow, was I ever in this photo? Like it's very disturbing to see someone who looks so much like you.
Yeah, because you suddenly realize you are not a unique
snowflake.
Flower.
So yes, Love is Blind Season 7. We're going to start recapping that next week. So tune in. I think that's going to drop on Tuesday, assuming that I keep up the schedule here. Yes. Okay. So see you then. And shall we get going, Andy, recapping the finale? A very feel-good finale, I would say.
Yeah, a lot of feel-good.
I mean, this is very par for the course, the whole thing. Jesse, even in his opening speech, I mean, what a professional. What a professional.
Consummate.
Even his little chuckle, he was talking, about all the highlights of the season during heartwarming laughs. He did this like chuckle while he said heartwarming laughs. I was like, oh my God.
You know what? He should start a class. He should do a master class of this.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone does it better than him.
Yeah.
Because everyone else, I see through it. I like, oh, you're faking it. This is all a lie.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm had. With Jesse, I feel like he is technically faking it.
Yes.
And it is technically a lie, but I don't feel had.
I think Jesse,
I feel like I'm in on it with him.
I think Jesse is the finest actor of our generation. I can picture him in one of those masterclass ads like on YouTube where it's like, some who are the famous people on masterclass? You know, the famous people teaching.
like Hell's Kitchen guy for cooking.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen guy. Who's the author woman, the writer?
Yeah.
Margaret Atwood?
Margaret Atwood, yeah.
Was it Margaret
she does
Atwood?
A heavy masterclass.
Yeah, heavy masterclass. But I can picture Jesse walking out and being like,
oh, completely.
in order to host with authenticity.
And he would do it the same way in the masterclass. Like even if he didn't want, he wouldn't want to be there at all, but you'd feel like he kind of did, but you kind of knew he didn't.
It would be meta. Care. Okay, so we're back in Tahiti now. Joan is still in tears over Pascal leaving. But I do love that she says this, not because of him, because it just sort of, touches a part of her that's worried she's not lovable, which I think is very relatable.
We may have downplayed how much she was hurt by the Pascal breakup. Like we were talking about how good Pascal was at breaking up, but she was. Can't take that away from him.
Actually, to the point where a friend of ours did end things with someone last week.
Oh yeah, she said she Pascal'd him.
Yeah, she was like, it was a Pascal level. She listens to our recaps, which is so cute.
Yeah, cute.
But it wasn't serious. They dated for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't
still,
a real breakup.
She said
but
it was Pascal level.
Yeah, it's like Picasso.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hurtful. I understand now. I think that she liked Pascal more than we let on.
But hurtful how? I mean, it had to end.
Hurtful.
Either he was going to hurt her or she was going to hurt him.
I think she was under the impression that everyone really liked her and wanted a shot with her. And Pascal was like, no, I'm not. I don't want a shot with you.
I mean, almost everyone did. And I don't know. I don't have the same sympathy for her. I mean, I don't think that she was any more hurt than Guy was in this episode.
No, Guy was very hurt.
Yeah, he was really upset.
Oh, well, we're getting to the end.
People know what happens.
Climactic ending.
But I don't know. I think that she was hurt in the way you are hurt when you are rejected. But I don't think that any more needs to be read into this. I thought he handled it really well.
Oh, no, he definitely handled it well.
I know some people thought that he said a couple things that were too harsh, like, oh, I'm missing that spark.
No, not at all.
To me, that was not that harsh.
You can only be harsh in a breakup. How can you break up with someone not harshly?
Yeah.
You can't make them feel good and break up with them at the same time. No. It's a mathematical impossibility.
No. And I think that a professional breaker-upper doesn't leave the door open.
Right. He leans towards coldness.
Yes. But
because
he
if
didn't
you lean towards warmth, you're leaving exactly. The door is open.
Yeah.
You're creating the opportunity for more pain down the road.
Well, actually, this friend of ours, now that I think about it, was not Pascal level, because the person that she was ending things with was like, the next day was like, can we talk again? Like,
that's how, with Pascal, you do not talk again. No, it's over. You lose the phone number.
Open, just a crack.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Joan said something here that stood out to me. She says, my go-to is to be strong and not be emotional. And something about that, it was so concise in this one sentence. I feel like this sums up her reign as Bachelorette. She has been extremely strong. Like you can tell she's the matriarch of her family. But even when we met her family, like these were not emotional people.
Right. They rein it in this family.
Yes. Heavy reining in of emotions.
And maybe they've had to, because they've gone through some serious hardship.
Yes.
And their way of handling it is to be like, we're shutting down a little bit.
Totally.
We can't do this.
Well,
we got to be strong.
I mean, they lost John, right?
Yeah,
they lost their father. She lost her husband. Yeah. It was just interesting to see that the apple does not fall far from the tree. Anyway, I just thought it summed up her season in a way. Okay. So Nancy joins Joan again, and even this, Joan seems tearful, like she wants to cry, and Nancy says, it's okay, like cry.
It's like, no, I don't want to cry.
She says, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I was like, why not? It feels good to cry. I love a good cry now and again.
You don't have to always be strong.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better for you to be not strong.
Yeah, and I do believe that there is strength in that.
There's strength in letting yourself be emotional.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so Andy, you should take your own advice. You should cry more.
I don't have to.
Why
I
not?
can give advice without taking it.
What is that? What is that?
I preach without practicing sometimes.
What is don't you ever feel the welling up of tears and think, oh, this would feel good?
And sometimes I let it go and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm too weak to let it go. Because when I don't let it go, I feel weakness, not strength, which is interesting.
Wow.
I feel like, look at you. You're so weak. You're so scared of being vulnerable that you can't cry sitting in a movie theater watching Wall-E, which I did, by the way. That time I was strong. I cried furiously.
Was the last time you cried Inside Out too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think I've cried since then.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, there's been some things.
No, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but that was the
good for you.
hardest cry. It was Inside Out 2.
Yeah, it's good. The hardest cry before that was Inside Out 1.
Yeah, I've showed a lot of bravery watching Pixar cartoons.
They know what they're doing over there. Okay, Nancy assures Joan that she's lovable, she's deserving of love. She's had it before, she can have it again. Nancy is fantastic in this role, I've got to say.
She could have been a good bachelorette.
Could she be a future Golden Bachelorette?
Yeah.
She's good at this.
Yeah, why do you think
her.
they didn't choose her?
Well, I don't think she was prominent enough.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah.
And she was actually she was really reserved on
true.
Gary's season.
You know, she was.
Yeah.
She was reserved.
Yeah, like they had one moment, it was like the wedding dress date, but she was really kind of like separate. And she didn't have the emotional connection with Gary that I think Joan had.
I agree.
Even though it was also very brief. I don't know how much of an emotional connection there was with any of them. But I feel like Nancy...
She'd be good.
I have my eye on her.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm the only one. Mm-hmm. After the commercial break, we're in Bora Bora, and Joan seems to have recovered. And she says, smooth sails don't make a skilled sailor. I liked this.
Yeah, it's good.
I've never heard this before.
Yeah, I don't think it has legs, but it's good. I like the meaning.
What do you mean it doesn't have legs? Of course
I'm
it has
saying
legs.
in 100 years, no one's going to be saying that.
Oh, you don't think as a saying it has legs?
So it doesn't roll off the tongue well. It doesn't have poetry to it.
Smooth.
It's clearly it's a saying that I think she may have made up. It's like an original saying.
You're criticizing the expression.
No, I think the meaning is great.
Yeah.
I like it. I like what it's doing.
But you're saying is it doesn't have zing.
I'm saying no one's going to be saying that expression generation from now.
Smooth sailing doesn't make a skilled sailor. It does read a bit like a tongue twister.
Yeah, it doesn't have poetry.
I don't know if I could say it 3 times fast.
No, it's not something you say and the room suddenly, it's not a mic drop saying. Mm-hmm. Like think about it. Like suddenly the room goes quiet and you're like, smooth sails doesn't make for a skilled sailor.
I have to admit that doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work. It takes a second. You're like, oh yeah, that does have meaning. Yeah. It doesn't land the way loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, come on. That drop. People literally drop their glasses.
Yeah, yeah, that one's really good. Okay, all right. You convinced us, Andy. Right. So Joan now with her family. Joan is so much more alive in the presence of her family. You can see she gets kind of bubbly. I like bubbly Joan. Yeah. She's like a schoolgirl, which is bubbly.
She
it's
feels
really
comfortable.
Cute. And she tells them about her struggle with John's memory and breaks down. And even her kids, you can see they almost seem uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They seem uncomfortable because they're starting to well up, and they're instead of just letting it go, there's this sort of like there's cameras on us right now.
This is not a very emotional family.
Well, I also think that they might be a little camera shy. I think that I have been a little hard on Joan all season because I want that sort of like raw emotion. But when I think back on my own experience, I actually think I was quite Joan-like, which is to say there's a camera right on me and I'm like,
you know what, you're right.
I don't know how to behave normally.
You're right. We are forced to judge based on what we see.
Yeah, and we do this every season. Right. So someone else rolls up and we're like, oh, they're not as emotionally available as the last people, but they are new to this. Right. We're the ones who aren't.
We have like our eyes, sometimes our eyes are lying to us because it's TV. It's a fake environment.
Yes.
And we've had love fests where we've had people on who we were sort of like, on TV, and then we met them and we're like, oh my God, this is such a full human being here.
Totally. Or we've seen people on TV and then had them on the podcast.
Yeah,
and they
like, what's going on?
And they were way more relaxed than they were on TV with all these cameras in their face.
Oh, I was going in a negative direction.
Oh, really?
I was just like, it's not as good as the TV version. That's only happened a couple times.
Very rarely.
Not even. Maybe
almost
one
always
time.
Better.
Maybe one time.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. I think that we're not taking into account. I mean, literally with your camera, we can't make Andy's camera like flippy thing face him because he can't look at himself.
I think I've gotten past that.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, but I mean, it's really small, but I think I've gotten past it. I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Okay. So Chock arrives now. He'll be meeting the family. I thought it was funny how he made a bit of a show of kissing Joan. He was like, well, I did this with my family as well, and I'm going to do it with you as well. I just really want to, I'm going to kiss Joan to show you how serious I am about this. It was kind of I don't know. It
was also like a very tame kiss. So it's like, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And just the discussion of it, I almost feel like this is a show, don't tell. You don't need to talk about the kiss. You just give the kiss.
I'll tell you, I'll give Chock credit. I have no idea what's going on with Chock.
Mm.
I usually feel like I can get a really quick read on people.
Yeah.
And with
You're
Chock,
actually very good at it. I mean, Devin last season, before you got thrown off by his incredible game
I
playing.
know, such a good player. But I will say that Chock has thrown me a little bit because I think my gut tells me Chock is a solid person.
Yeah.
That's my gut. But the behavior, if I didn't know any of his backstory, if I had just seen some of his recent behavior, I would say he's full of it. So I don't know.
You're not the only person to feel that way. I mean, Chock elicits reaction from viewers.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I feel like I've kind of given him a pass because it just feels like he fits the mold of someone who, like, I think I know who a Chock is.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I know who this Chock is.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see where this goes.
Me too.
Because I'm starting to feel torn. A lot of the things he's doing in front of my face don't seem sincere to me. But I don't know. I may be totally wrong. I should maybe rest on what my initial feeling about Chock is.
Well, and then there's a deeper discussion to be had about whether or not a manipulator realizes they are manipulating.
Yeah, he may be manipulating wwithout himself.
Yes.
Like he's not driving the car.
Yeah, like people have criticized him for being a love bomber and being saying all these things that he's saying are red flags. And we've been getting a lot of that. The way he words a certain thing. If someone said that, he's his concern over Joan breaking his heart versus just doing what's best for her and like finding happiness for herself suggests that he doesn't actually love her. It's more about his own ego, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of like dissecting of what he's saying. But the question from there is that just him wording it incorrectly?
Well, he's on TV.
Yeah.
He's now like basically, for all intents and purposes, a TV star.
Yeah, he is. Isn't that funny?
It's so weird,
Chock
right?
is a
Chock
TV
is a TV star.
Yeah, the guy who
would
you
have
didn't
ever
think
thought?
could win because his name was Chock.
Yeah. I mean, I could imagine being an infomercial TV star, but not like an actual
An
TV
infomercial.
star.
I mean, he's the guy
He's
selling
the guy. I mean, he sold
mortgages.
me. I'm already buying it.
Yeah.
I already have one. Did I tell you I took it out on the
Reverse
apartment?
mortgage
Yeah, it's
on
already
the-
done. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Our place.
Our Place. I love that pan. The always pan from Our Place. How cute is this thing? Seriously,
cute.
show everyone how cute it is.
Look how cute this is. Look.
How cute.
This
Pretty.
is an artful looking pen.
Isn't
This
it?
is something you could see in the Museum of Modern Art.
When I saw, I've been eyeing Our Place for a while. I literally have gone to a certain department store and like touched it.
Stroked them.
I have stroked them. And I was so excited when they became a sponsor because I really believe in Our Place. Did you know that most companies that make cookware are still using forever chemicals? We were talking Teflon, PFAS.
So why not swap out your toxic kitchenware and appliances for something sustainable and healthy?
Yes, something non-toxic. That's where Our Place comes in.
All their products are made without Teflon or PFAS.
And by the way, those forever chemicals are under increasing scrutiny because of not only their impact on our health, but also the environment.
And, just the beauty of this pan alone.
I know.
Just the
pretty?
beauty.
Yes.
This is, I'm literally, I can't even do this ad properly because I'm just staring at this pan.
It's
I'm
a work of
ogling
art.
the pan.
Yes, it's a work of art. I
Look at
absolutely
this.
love it.
Look.
And by the
Go.
way, if you don't care for this color, I love this color. But if you're like, that's not really my color, they have a rainbow of different colors to choose from. This stuff is so beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it. I love pretty stuff. And I just love that, usually a kitchen, you're just like all the same. It always looks gray, stainless steel, whatever. I just love adding a pop of color to a kitchen.
And Our Place has 75,000 five-star reviews on their award-winning products.
So Our Place is having their biggest sale of the year right now.
Save up to 40% on your order now through December 3rd.
Head to FromOurPlace.com/Shandy to find out why more than 1 million people have made the switch to Our Place kitchenware.
And with their 100-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free returns, you can shop with total confidence.
Shop the Our Place Black Friday sale right now at FromOurPlace.com/Shandy.
Look, I'm doing the thing when you flip stuff. For prices that won't make you wince, shop Quince.
Honestly, Quince has taken over the basics game. I think everyone I know now talks about Quince. Like when I go to dinner with girlfriends, it's like, where's that from? Oh, Quince. Like everyone is on the, if you have not heard of Quince, if you have not tried shopping at Quince, you are missing out because we are talking high quality essentials, very high quality, by the way, at really insanely reasonable prices. Like we're talking 50 to 80% off prices you would normally see for pieces of this style and quality. And you might be thinking, ooh, that sounds unethical, but Quince only uses factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. What they do is partner directly with top factories, and then they pass those savings on to you. So they cut out the middleman, basically that little label that you often pay a huge premium for, that's cut out. But now I honestly think the Quince label has got a little like cachet.
Got some cachet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something else. You might think that Quince is chintz because it has prices that don't make you wince. But I will correct you because I brought a Quince sweater to Ireland and I brought 3 sweaters to Ireland.
Yes.
I packed extremely light. I am
did.
very good at this. I wore that sweater literally 20 times while I was in Ireland.
Or more.
No pilling,
Yeah.
no fading, nothing wrong. Just a beautiful sweater that I was happy with every single time I put it on. I got compliments, by the way. I got a compliment. I got a compliment. I don't get compliments.
By the way, that sweater is 100% Mongolian cashmere, and it was $59.90.
$59.90 for a sweater I've literally already worn 100 times.
Yeah, but
and
also
looks perfect.
cashmere. Like you do not get cashmere sweaters for $60. That gives you an idea of the prices we're talking. Their prices feel like sale prices, but not just sale prices. They feel like sample sale prices, except those are the prices every day.
So get cozy in Quince's high quality wardrobe essentials.
Go to quince.com/Shandy to get free shipping on your orders and a whopping 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/Shandy for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/Shandy. Andy, you're looking so refreshed.
Oh, it's funny you say that because I have been sleeping like a champ.
Yes, since
Or
we've
a
been,
baby.
Yes.
Do champs sleep well? I don't know. Sometimes they don't. Probably champions don't need a lot of sleep.
But babies do.
Babies need sleep. So I've been sleeping like a baby, and I'll tell you why. Because I am sleeping on our brand new Helix mattress.
Yes.
Which was custom. I did a quiz, and what I asked for was a mattress that's good for a side sleeper. I need to sleep on my side.
You do.
Because I snore on my back.
Yeah, and then you snoring affects how well you sleep.
And how well you sleep.
Yeah, yes, trust me.
And let me tell you, this mattress has made side sleeping a dream.
Yes.
Literally. And I do not wake up with back pain, which I used to.
Yes.
And I do not go to my back. Because I have a tendency to go to my back. Because I'm so comfortable on my side. My body's like, no, we're good here.
Yes.
We're good here.
I'm going to be honest. In the past, when I've upgraded to a mattress, I've been like, oh, yeah, that's good. It was a good mattress. This mattress, I'm like, ooh. You know, it's like a really nice hotel. You go to a really nice hotel and you're like, oh, this mattress. Like,
why am I always sleeping well in nice hotels?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's a good mattress.
Yes.
Duh.
There's a difference between a good mattress and a bad mattress.
What other thing do you spend a third of your life doing where you don't pay attention to the quality of that thing that you're doing a third of your life in?
So true.
So right now, Helix Sleep has an amazing November offer.
Go to helixsleep.com/dearshandy to get 25% off site-wide plus 2 free dream pillows with any mattress order.
Or with any Luxe or Elite mattress order.
Get a free bedding bundle. So that's 2 free dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector.
That's helixsleep.com/dearshandy. But I think that I'm leaning towards the camp of Chock being sincere. I'm 60-40.
I would agree with that. Maybe that's us being optimists, but they seemed really happy, honestly. And I see what people are getting at. Trust me. Like it really bothered me how he was like, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. And he'll say some more things in their final date. And this too, it's like, I made a point of kissing her and now I'm going to kiss her again. Like there's something about it that feels performative.
Well, you know what it is? It's when he said that, and I know.
Well, it was so performative that it couldn't be performative.
Well, I know that wasn't truly, the meaning of that wasn't truly sincere, but what he was saying is this experience is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I know that what he did not mean that Joan was the best thing that ever happened to him. That I would rest my whole estate on.
Well, I mean, he didn't word it like that. He said, you're the best thing.
But that is false.
Well,
this is the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Then I can see the issue being like she hears, I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you. I'm falling in love with you. I'm picking you based on these, partly based on these words. So there's something manipulative inherently about what he said.
But not intentional, because I think he cannot parse the experience from the person.
Well, we always do end up coming back to that in our recaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I've said this for years with my experience on this show. I think a lot of my feelings for the lead were wrapped up in how I felt in the experience.
It is
The
something.
feeling of specialness.
It is something that needs to be repeated
Yes.
every single time we recap because people cannot forget. The same way that if someone goes out one night with a person who ordinarily they would find quite annoying and overbearing, and they do some very uplifting serotonin-inducing drug together, the next day they're like, oh, I really want to hang out with that person again.
No, it's
but
so
they
true.
don't. They want to hang out with the feeling again.
You're right. And you think about Chock, he's 60 years old. You know, he's got this enormous family. He's living in Wichita, Kansas, and he sells insurance? He's an insurance executive.
Of course he sells. What else does he sell? What do you think that guy sells?
This man is selling something.
He's selling. He's selling all day.
And now he's an
ABCs.
executive. Maybe he doesn't have to sell, but he got where he is by selling.
Of course.
But you're right. He has led a life of, you know, a certain type of flavor. And then he goes on this show and he is the front runner from day one. And
He's the
this is a
star.
guy that we have seen feeds off the validation, feeling special, feeling chosen. You know, he's competitive. You can see he's competitive. Can you imagine what a high he's getting off this
Chock
experience at this point in his
wants to
life?
be a star.
I don't know if he wants to be a
Let me
star.
tell you something. Chock wants to be a star.
No, I don't know if that's
he doesn't
fair.
want to be a star. It's not like he's had that dream his whole life. I think he has the bug.
Oh my God. The way Mark were like, he should have been a movie star. It was really Chock who had the.
Chock should have been a movie star.
He's got a look.
And not a movie star like a Brad Pitt or a Tom Cruise.
Or
but
a
like,
Mark.
He's like, you know what? He's like a Gene Hackman level movie star. He's like kind of the anti-hero.
Yes, 100%.
I'm telling you, this guy was born to be a star. And that's not this is a compliment.
Yeah.
I think he missed his calling.
Okay.
Chock's got magnetism.
Yeah.
And kind of like reverse magnetism. Like magnetism where you're like, I don't want more of that, but I do want more of that.
Kind of like a really good blue cheese.
Yeah, disgusting cheese.
Reverse magnetism.
Yeah. That's a compliment, believe it or not.
Okay, so Chock now chats with Joan's son, Nick, and Nick's fiance, Brooke. I found this conversation, honestly, a little painful, even
What's
though
going on with him?
Nick?
Yeah, what's going on with him?
I mean, he just doesn't seem to
Is
want to
he
be on camera.
I think this guy might be a serial killer.
Oh,
Is he a serial killer?
He's not emotionally.
He's a serial killer.
I think it's the
Yeah, he's a
cameras.
serial
It's
killer.
the cameras.
I kill people.
We don't go around
fun.
calling leads children
them
serial
floorboards.
killers, Andy. That's not what we do here
Oh,
at
we
Dear
don't?
Shandy.
Okay.
No, I think he must have been very uncomfortable with the cameras on him, but he definitely seemed very much like he did not want to be there.
Yeah.
In a way that almost became amusing after I got over the inertia of it. I think I was just expecting her children to be more like, oh my God, like we're here in Bora Bora, we're on a cruise ship and you are final two. I don't know. I was expecting more excitement.
He's very reserved.
Yeah, I mean, the daughter too, to be honest.
Yeah.
They all were. I mean, ultimately, Chock does win Nick over when he kind of talks about how this is tough, the idea of someone replacing his dad, and Chock's quick to be like, I'm not trying to replace your dad. I am just there to make your mother happy. And, you know, of course, Nick's like, okay. He is thawed slightly by this.
Yeah.
And now Nick chats with Joan. She says she doesn't want to do anything that makes them question her love for their father. And Nick says, this is really beautiful. He says, you know how proud your kids are of you for doing this, right? Even the wording of that. Like, he's one of her kids.
Yeah.
He's like, you know how
He's
proud.
speaking about himself in the third person.
Yes.
about how proud he
Even
is
that
of her.
felt like he was removed emotionally. And then she says, I don't actually.
Oh.
Which even felt like something about this was, it felt like a little mini breakthrough in this family. And I'm making a lot of assumptions.
I think this happens all the time on this show. I
Yeah.
think the real breakthroughs on this show happen
With
with the
family.
emotional vulnerability of the family.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, we can be emotional?
Yeah.
Wow. This is a new thing.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of picture a world in which if I had had a hometown, this might have happened in my family.
I bet you, even through all the difficulties they've been through, this was possibly one of the biggest emotional breakthroughs they've had in the last few years.
Well, because after she says, I don't know how proud of me my kids are, that's when he starts speaking in the first person about how proud he is.
What's so interesting about the third person reference, and also just the general theme of these hometowns being a real playing field for vulnerability for these families, is that I think that like in relationships, one-on-one, just like romantic relationships, one of the best things you can do is to see your partner as something outside of the relationship.
Totally.
Like when you see them suddenly doing something like completely separate from the relationship, you're like, oh my God, this
even
is
just
a
hanging
separate
out with
person.
their friends. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I love this person more now. They're actually like, there's something I could love from afar and up close.
Yes.
And I do believe that this show forces families to see their mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, whoever. I mean, less so sons, daughters, more mother, fathers. They see them as like, oh, you're a real person.
Yes.
You're not just a mother.
Yes.
I'm not just sucking at your teat.
Yes.
Figuratively.
Totally.
You're an actual person who's doing something pretty incredible. And I am overwhelmed with emotion because I haven't seen this in possibly forever.
Totally. But yeah, this obviously ends up being really beautiful with her family.
I take it back. I no longer think he's a serial killer.
Well, because he thaws.
He at the last second, he's like, I'm not a serial killer. You got me.
He tells her he loves her. He's so proud of her. And overall, Chock passes this meeting of the family with flying colors. It's all very beautiful yet uneventful. And Jesse now in the live says, well, there's really nothing like family to help lift you up.
Oh, Jesse. Oh, Jesse.
I love him.
Where does he come up with these things?
Okay, from a teleprompter.
Nice.
It's just something about the time. There really is nothing like family to lift you up. I don't know. It's not that it's not true. It's just something about the timing of this, the delivery of this. It honestly made me laugh out loud. I laughed really hard.
I want to see Jesse narrate everything.
Yes.
Everything I see.
I want to know the choices he makes.
Yeah.
He is a walking masterclass.
I need to meet this guy. I need to see what's under the hood.
People said that we should try to get him and his wife on for a
I want to get them. Can you come on?
Yes.
It's a good sized podcast. It'll be good. It can't be bad for you. I'm telling you, it'll be a good time.
Chock's final date now. To us, there was a funny exchange. He apologizes for having been emotional. And she's like, oh, no, yeah, I did notice that. And he's like, normally I'm not like that. She's like, yes, but I thought it was really lovely.
I forgive you.
Yeah, the way they spoke over each other and what they were speaking over each other about.
Well, you know what I think is part of it is that they're from a generation where, I think every generation, and I literally mean like from cavemen to now, every single generation becomes less and less worried about being vulnerable.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me rephrase.
Okay.
Every generation becomes more and more comfortable with being vulnerable. It becomes more and more accepted.
Uh-huh.
So I think if you go back literally one generation, it's a little less accepted. 2 generations, it's more. At 3, like it keeps going all the way down the line.
Yeah.
I don't think there were as ever a generation that leapfrogged, like we're more, vulnerable than the one that's coming after
totally.
us.
I know
never happened.
You're making such an interesting point that I think really applies to this little exchange.
Yeah.
Because to me, him apologizing for being emotional, you would think she would be like, oh my God, don't be silly.
Yeah,
like
what are you talking about? That's what I want.
But
I want you to be a puddle.
Yeah, but she responded with the same energy of like, oh yeah, I did notice that.
Good. I'll forgive you.
Yeah, I did notice that. And there was even a coldness in how, like, I don't want to say coldness, but like, it wasn't considering what they were talking about. It was almost like I'm sorry for my episode. Like I'm getting things under control.
Well,
like it just felt like so.
And it's the petri dish. It's the petri dish of Bachelor, which has forced them to be in this very emotional, vulnerable state. Like there's no choice. It's almost like they're on drugs. It's a lab experiment.
They're really perfect for each other in a way.
I agree.
I really think that. Like, I don't know what would have happened if Chock had not been on this season. I do not think she would have chosen Guy. I don't think she and Guy are the same.
You know what I think?
She and Chock are the same.
You know what I think? This is what I think. And people can take this for what they want. I think Chock is the safe choice for Joan.
Yeah, but was Joan ever not going to pick the safe choice for Joan?
I'm not saying she wasn't, but I'm just saying between Guy and Chock is the safe choice.
Yes. I said something about halfway through the season. And I felt very validated when people agreed with me. But I said that what's interesting about Chock.
No, I hope not.
Chock and Joan is that they are kind of like emotionally there, but only on their terms. Like they're like fun loving, but on their terms. Like their Disney date was a good example of this. It's like, yes, we like having fun.
Well, how appropriate that the date that they always reference is the most memorable part of their relationship is Disney.
Yeah. It's so, I find them really in a way just so well matched.
They are well matched.
And I think that's
why I'm leaning towards now. I'm sort of straying away from my 4-month over under.
Oh.
I think this may have some legs. I don't know if it has permanent legs, but I'm going on the over on this one.
Okay. I mean, the logistics do seem to matter, but we'll get there in a bit. I want to circle back to that when we get talking about the keys. Okay, so we'll get there. So Chock has his final date. He gifts her. Oh, we're already there.
Oh.
He gifts her keys, saying that they'll pick out a place in New York City, because apparently they have talked about New York City. Andy, you said they do not belong in New York City. He's got 2 ATVs. Do you want to redact that statement?
I honestly mean that with absolutely no disrespect. I just think New York City is an interesting choice for them. I don't know if I see it, but I'm sure they'll have fun.
I think that they are on the cusp of a lot of travel and excitement.
I agree. And New York City will be possibly just a place they pass through and enjoy and then move on to something else. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe they become New Yorkers.
I don't picture them becoming
I don't know
New Yorkers.
I don't know if that's possible, but maybe they do.
But I
almost prefer for them not to, for their own sakes.
No, what I like about them is that they both love New York City, because there are 2 types of people who don't spend a lot of time in New York City, but who have visited. There's the people who want to spend more time in New York City, and then the people who are like, oh, New York City, how do you live there?
Right.
And whenever people do that, I'm like, I know you think you're being some unique snowflake. Speaking of unique snowflakes.
That's not very unique.
Yeah, all you're doing is being like a stereotype. Like, I know exactly who you are from a mile away. The person that can't stop talking about how much they hated New York when they visited.
Yeah, like I'm a stereotype. How much I can't stop talking about how much I hate LA.
Yeah. We are anti-LA stereotypes. I'm okay with that. I can admit it.
And I love visiting LA.
Chock tells Joan he loves her. He wants to marry her. There is heavy eye contact here. Chock, of course, notices that she doesn't say it back. And in his ITM, he says, it's always a concern when you're the first one to say the love word. We got a kick out of that.
Which word is that?
Which word is that?
What is the love word?
It's like the shit word.
Yeah, I mean, if you say the love word, it can't be the word love.
Okay, Guy is more comfortable doing B-roll now, it would seem, where we've circled over to Guy. He says his intention is to get down on a knee, and Andy, you groaned. Because last week, Andy wanted the word watch word to be knee, and I was like, it's tradition to do finger. And so we kept finger, and then you were very upset with me.
Why you did that to me.
Meanwhile, Joan is approaching to end things, which is, I wrote, negative surprising. I mean, we all knew this was coming. Yeah. I would have even put money on the fact that she would end it before he met her family. Yeah. Knowing how Joan is and like how traditional she is and how... I think she never wanted to lead anyone on.
I agree.
Yeah. And so... the highlight for us, this is hilarious. She walks in and sees his digs here. Yeah. And she's like, oh, you have a nice place. Good for you.
He's done well for himself.
She says her biggest hope and biggest fear was sending someone home at this point. She rips off the Band-Aid, though, and says her heart belongs to somebody else. I was impressed. This was actually...
I think she took a cue from her,
Pascal,
her old buddy.
Yeah, her mentor. Yeah. Her breakup mentor. I mean, this was almost professional level.
It was Pascal level.
I thought she was going to struggle with this more than she did. Yeah. I mean, she was...
I did too.
She was really like a machine.
I'm a little scared.
It was a machine.
A little worried.
I thought she was... It seemed going into it, she was sort of like... hedging how she was going to word it. And she was like, my heart belongs to someone else.
What's amazing? Damn. What I find amazing is that people would say like, oh, Pascal's breakup was cold hearted. This was like 60 degrees colder than Pascal's breakup.
I agree. I completely agree.
Pascal's breakup was practically like Disney level compared to this. But also, again, I don't oppose an ice cold breakup.
Me neither.
It's just got to be efficient. Yeah. It's got to be respectful.
Well, when she became very efficient is when... he kind of, first he's very sad. He cries. He gives her a hug. He tells her he fell in love with her. Is there no changing her mind? And she's like, no.
Yeah. So he can't even do the Jim Carrey. So you're saying there's a chance. No chance.
No.
Not even 1,000,000 to 1.
She says, I love you, but in a different way. So she really shuts that down. He once again says he was going to get down on a knee. Andy, you groaned again. And funny how when they went for a goodbye hug, he kind of he didn't kind of go for a kiss. He went for a kiss.
Can I say something? First of all, I've done that.
Have you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost out of habit.
No, I've done it because I'm trying to like bring back the thing. Like you want it more.
Oh, so when you've been broken up with.
Oh, when I've been broken up with.
Yeah, but that's kind of uncomfortable, honestly.
Oh, yeah, of course it's uncomfortable. You think you're acting rationally when you just got broken up with.
Oh,
You're
that's
doing
true.
stupid stuff where I really didn't fully see it coming and I still wanted it.
Yeah.
And what do you do in that situation? You want the thing even more than you did the day before by like 5 times. And it's not even a conscious move. It's like, this seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
This feels normal. And then you realize very quickly it's not normal.
Oh,
and then you get even more sad, but then you feel ashamed that you tried to kiss them.
Oh, no.
And then that's it. It's all spiral from there.
I mean, this was awkwardness captured so perfectly. Was this goodbye hug turn him trying to kiss her and she's sort of like,
yeah, no, it's like, redirect. Yeah. But you know, it shows that Guy really he was down. And I felt from a long time ago, I felt Guy was in this more than anybody.
Yes.
Maybe even Chock included.
I mean, yeah, I really think that he was
down. He wanted
was
to spend his life with Joan.
Yeah. And I think he was also talking about how he doesn't need to work anymore. Like he was like ready to retire.
He was ready to go. I think he's devastated.
I agree.
Still.
Yeah, he did have, even in the hot seat, which we're about to talk about, it did have this unfinished business feeling about it at the end. Like it almost felt like Jesse was cutting him off because they needed to go to commercial, but he had more he wanted to say.
He felt like a sad teenager.
Yes.
You know, he really loved, he was in love with Joan.
Oh. So in his hot seat time, there's nothing really surprising with Guy. He said he got a lot out of the experience. He said he really did find love. He knows he can do it again.
That's good. Oh, maybe on TV.
Joan joins now. We're going to talk about her dress. She's wearing a strapless dress. I never even know what to call dresses like this, where the top is completely different from the bottom. Like, is this a dress? Was this 2 pieces? Was it meant to look like 2 pieces?
It's like a fiesta.
So it's like a strapless gold. It's got these like gold. What do you call these? Were they big paillettes? Were they like metal pieces? Were they little
Honestly,
big coins?
I'll tell you what they were. They were things that I would avoid getting too close to.
Oh,
they look dangerous.
Oh,
they look like they could cause injury. I don't. No touchability.
So
on that.
That was the top part, the strapless sort of, kind of like a bustier. I'm not really sure. And then the bottom was this white skirt with a deep slit. I actually liked the
skirt part. I was into.
Yeah, it was really striking. And she's got these unbelievable long like legs that were just like, when she crossed her legs, I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, this dress, you know, I felt similarly about this dress as I did the Men Tell All dress, which is, it just felt distracting to me. Like she sat down and she and Guy were having a full-blown conversation about the breakup we had just witnessed. And all I was doing was observing her dress, wondering what the gold things were. I was trying to figure out her dress, sort of like last week, the plunge, the metal trim on her dress. I was like trying to figure it out.
The last 2 episodes, she's worn, I think, dresses that wear her, and I generally don't. That's when if I had to boil it down, what I like, which I don't think anyone cares, but I'm going to say it anyway. I like a dress that is not wearing the person. I don't care what it is. It could be the most ridiculous dress I've ever seen in history. Yeah. One of these, like, you know, the what's that ball where everyone goes and dresses like a lunatic?
Oh, the Met Gala.
Yeah, the Met Gala. Yeah, I mean, it's just absurd. If there's anything that like this world has gone in the wrong direction, it's the Met Gala.
Yeah, but I have to admit, if we got a letter in the mail being like, Shandy, you are hereby invited to the Met Gala
you know
this
what
year.
I would
This
wear?
is the theme.
I would go V-neck.
If you did that, that would be the most badass thing you'd ever do.
I would 100% do that.
If you did that, I honestly, like, I would be like, okay.
Yeah, I would go V-neck.
You know what that would
nice
be?
Nice pants, slacks, black slacks. Or maybe I'd wear a jacket. I wear a nice jacket over the V-neck so I could take it off.
Stop it. No, you're being...
that would be the reveal. They'd be like, ooh, and I'd get on the red carpet and like open the jacket and they'd be like, what is that? It's just a Hanes V-neck.
Yeah, but I don't think you even need the jacket. It's way more rock star to just wear the V-neck.
Okay, well, when we get invited to the Met Gala in our imaginary lives, I'll be wearing that.
That would be the most famous person thing you could ever do, is get invited to the Met Gala and wear your white.
I could never be famous enough to pull that off in the way that it should be pulled off.
Who is famous enough to pull that off?
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio.
But I'm thinking more Daniel Day-Lewis, like someone who's like famous but not.
Anthony Hopkins. Can you imagine Anthony Hopkins showing up with a white V? Oof, strong move.
I was thinking more Johnny Depp.
Oh, totally Johnny Depp. Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Shandy's, let us know what you thought of Joan's dress. Because I'm open to having my mind changed about this dress. Less so the Mentalot one. That one I was really like, that one almost felt like an evil Disney. Disney should be our word watch for this recap, by the way, today.
Oh, yeah.
But it almost felt like the Wicked Witch of the whatever dress last week. It just felt like almost costumey. This one didn't feel costumey. I was just like looking at it and wondering. That's all. Let us know what you thought.
It made you think. It's real art.
It did. That's true. Real art. Okay, so Guy does that thing that I never think anyone should do, which is he wonders if something had been missing. And she says just the opposite. She never thought she could feel emotions for two people. And she says it was a time thing. It's very delicate. She says he's an amazing person. She hopes to be friends. One day they'll be double dating. I thought that was cute.
So Sharleen, do you like your skin?
I'm pretty happy with it these days. I look after it.
But do you like your skin overall? Just the skin? Do you like having skin?
Yes, I like having skin. My coating, as you call it.
Yes. So why, if we eat good food, we're so careful about our diet.
Yes.
Why would you not feed your skin also good food?
Yes, maybe with farm fresh ingredients combined with clinically proven results. And that's where pharmacy comes in. And I had been buying pharmacy, by the way, already before they came across the Dear Shandy desk as a sponsor. And so, I love it when that happens. When it's a match made in heaven, when I'm already a big fan. And pharmacy, you are holding the Honey Halo cream, which is so rich yet lightweight. It's so hydrating.
Also, can I just say it comes with a spoon? And is there anything more satisfying than spooning out some of this honey-infused moisturizer?
Oh, it's amazing. And it sticks to the
look
top.
at this. It's just magnetized.
But my holy grail from pharmacy is the honey milk essence. This is my hydrating toner, my go-to. If you struggle with dryness or flaking, especially from maybe more intense skincare, like maybe you use prescription products or retinols, this stuff, I am telling you, is a game changer. It just keeps you dewy.
It locks it in.
It locks it in.
The moisture.
Yes.
I can feel it. And can we talk about the honey that they use in their products?
Oh, well.
Do you want to talk about the honey?
I do
I'll
want
let
to.
you talk about the honey. I'll give that to you.
Their honey is sourced from a family-operated bee farm in California. I love how they combine farm-fresh ingredients with science.
I think pharmacy is going to be one of those brands that takes over. You want to bet?
Well, they're already sold at your local Sephora, by the way, in case you didn't already know. I'm sure you already knew that. And I think notably, they have that green, clean beauty seal at Sephora.
So drench your skin in honey hydration.
Visit pharmacybeauty.com and use our code Shandy for 20% off your order.
Get 20% off your order at farmacybeauty.com, promo code Shandy.
Visit pharmacybeauty.com and use our promo code Shandy to get 20% off your order.
So Sharleen, we were away for 2 months.
Yes.
And you know what we didn't have? We didn't have Cozy Earth sheets.
Oh, yes. We were staying in a rental unit in Ireland. And let me tell you, coming home to our Cozy Earth bed sheets, which are made from viscose from bamboo, was like,
Are we going to start having to ship our sheets to places we go?
I've heard that people do that with their Cozy Earths. You get so hooked on that softness, that silky softness. They're cooling, they're temperature regulating. So they're cooling when you're too hot, yet they keep you warm when you're too cold. And it's made from viscose from bamboo, so it's more sustainable. This fabric is a game changer, as best evidenced by your joggers that you are wearing right now and that you wear literally every time we record Dear Shandy.
And I've gotten these in burgundy as well.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the bed sheets. It's everything in the house.
We're a little bit hooked on Cozy over here. We have their towels, their waffle towels. We actually have the regular ones and the waffle ones. We have their silk pillows. We have their cuddle blanket. We have various articles of clothing. I also have the joggers now. Also such a solid gift. Giving something they'll actually wear, something that's actually comfortable. Maybe they need new bed sheets in their life. Maybe they're going through bed sheets quickly because their bed sheets are always ripping or staining and just look like crap over time. Incredibly, Cozy Earth bed sheets have a 10-year warranty against pilling.
All Cozy Earth bedding and bath products have a 10-year warranty.
Unbelievable. Does that not show confidence in their product?
It's almost veering on arrogance. So wrap the ones you love in luxury with Cozy Earth.
Visit CozyEarth.com/Shandy and use our promo code Shandy to get 40% off to give the gift of luxury this holiday season.
That's CozyEarth.com/Shandy.
And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to let Cozy Earth know that we, Dear Shandy, sent you.
So Sharleen, we were in Ireland for basically 2 months.
Yes.
And there were times when we were traveling within Ireland.
Yes.
We were going all over the place.
Yeah.
It was not convenient to have fresh dog food.
Yes, where you need a refrigerator.
Yes.
But also, we don't want to feed our dog crappy kibble.
No, we're not going to do it.
No. We're not those people.
No.
No
Sorry
judgment,
if you
but
are
you know.
those people. then-
That's where Sunday's food for dogs comes in. This has been a game changer. I would even say a life changer. We are talking human grade dog food. What makes Sundays so special is it is such high quality ingredients. We're talking 90% meat, 10% superfoods, 0% synthetic nutrients or artificial ingredients, but that is air dried. So all the moisture is taken out of it. So you don't have to refrigerate it. It works like kibble in your life, but you're giving your dog really good stuff. And nothing gives her more energy or gives her better poops than Sundays. She loves this stuff. She loves the taste. I mean, it's unbelievable how energetic she is, how good she looks. Like, I know it's doing good things for her.
Yeah. And it's also nice to not use up precious freezer or fridge space.
Yes.
Gotta be honest.
I mean, we did the fresh dog food thing for a while. I think we all know those companies, but it took up so much space and was also really inconvenient how it always needed to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
This is just a life enhancer. It's so convenient.
And Sundays is co-founded by a practicing veterinarian and an engineer.
Yes, they have tirelessly tested and formulated each version of each recipe.
So get 40% off your first order of Sundays.
Go to sundaysfoodfordogs.com/Shandy to get 40% off your first order. And back in Bora Bora, Joan says she's given in to the leap of faith finally. Chock says, I know my knees are going to go weak when I see her. Andy, you groaned again,
Unbelievable.
although that was plural.
Yeah.
And as he walks towards the proposal site, I've got to commend Chock on his posture.
Tremendous posture.
He has, for a man of his stature, and
6'2".
you think he's 6'2"?
6'2", 6'3", yeah.
I mean, he was almost exactly Jesse's height. He moves like someone, I don't know, he's got like a good...
Chock's played sports.
Oh, you
like,
think?
He was a good athlete at one point.
Yeah, he
Maybe
moves.
still.
He moves, like the way his body moves
He
is
moves
very...
like someone who's maintained an athletic lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got no hunch. Also confidence. When you're that tall, sometimes people that tall, they tend to kind of crouch
Shrink.
down.
Yeah.
They shrink
My
because
ex
they don't
was like
feel
that.
like they deserve the height.
Yeah,
They don't own the height.
yeah.
And he's never felt that
No,
way.
he likes his height. I think he moves through life like pleased with his extra few inches.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe also there. Okay, so he says she's the most giving, selfless person he's ever met in his life. I think the issue with Chock is more... Okay, I get he's proposing. I'm not going to
Superlatives.
criticize
Too
this.
many
It's the
superlatives.
superlatives. But I'm not going to... This is a proposal. I'm going to let him have his
Yeah, let him have
superlatives.
it.
He promises to honor John by loving her every day. She'll never be invisible. He'll tell her he loves her every day. He wants her in his life. She tells him she loves him, wants to spend the rest of her life with him. He proposes. She says, yes, I wish we'd gotten a better shot of this ring, but, you know, c'est la vie.
Yeah, what happened with
Why
the
do
whole...
they take that away from us?
What was with no Neil Lane?
Yeah,
What
no
happened?
segment. I don't even need the Neil Lane segment. I just want to see the ring, a close-up of the ring, and maybe a shot of the other rings.
I agree.
Just give us that. It's so easy to give us that.
Well, you know, with Neil, I think Neil Lane couldn't make it to Bora Bora. It's too far. I think he was busy.
Neil Lane, can we just say Neil, out of all the people in the show living their best life, it's Neil Lane.
Neil Lane won.
Neil Lane
No
won
one has
life.
won as much as Neil Lane.
He is loving every second of this.
Yeah. And the thing is, he does love it. Because some
Yes.
people could be in the ring business and they'd be like, oh God, this is so soulless.
Yeah,
Who
I have to do this
cares?
Bachelorette
So
thing.
stupid.
No, he's
No,
into
he
it.
loves rings. He loves the Bachelor.
He loves love. He loves TV.
He loves being the guy.
Yeah.
He loves being the ring guy.
Yes.
He loves being Neil Lane.
Yes.
Just Neil Lane.
Even the shot of him looking at the proposal of the ring, he was like,
Can I say something about Neil Lane? Neil
What?
Lane has many times referred to himself as Neil Lane.
I don't know about that.
Oh, he's, yeah.
You think?
On a daily basis. He's like, Neil Lane doesn't want to go out tonight. Neil Lane wants to stay home. Watch videos. Netflix.
Videos. Okay, so it's a beautiful proposal. Absolutely beautiful, honestly. They seem very happy together. And I have to admit, when they ride off on that boat together, kissing, and that song comes on. A dream is a wish your heart makes. That's like an old school Disney song.
It really pulls at something.
Yeah.
It's almost, you can't help but feel a little sad.
Yes.
Like if you listen to that song and you only feel happy, something wrong with you.
Well, I think that the most touching music, even when it's happy, is it has a sadness in it.
Well, there's no such thing as purely happy music.
Yeah, well,
that's good.
Yeah, well, then
that's
it's
Hootie
too
and the Blowfish.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Which is very, let me tell you something. No one has nailed happy more than Hootie and the Blowfish. If If you want to just listen to happy music, Hootie
Will
and the
we ever
Blowfish.
be able to get through a season without dissing Hootie and the Blowfish at least
I
once?
want to make it clear, I'm not fully dissing them.
Yeah.
I'm giving them the credit for being a band that is willing to make music that is simply happy with no depth whatsoever.
Okay, so I mean, I thought this was really beautiful. Beautiful use of the song. It ties in their first date at Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland. I think it was Disneyland.
Which one's better? Disneyland? Disneyland's better than Disney World, right? Was Disney World, this is the guess I'm going to take here because I don't know anything.
Okay.
I don't know which one's which.
I think
I know
Disneyland
one's
is-
Florida, one's LA, but I think that the one that's called World was trying to like be like, oh, this is the better one, but you can't be better than Disneyland. That's what
I
I think.
agree with that because I think Disneyland, the word land, Disney is a land. It's
Yeah.
like Narnia is a land. Narnia is not a world.
Well, it's like
a
Miss
land.
America versus Miss Universe. If
Yeah.
it's Miss Universe. Oh, we're talking about the universe. What about you're discriminated against someone in like some other galaxy, like the Andromeda galaxy? If you're gonna call them Miss Universe, I want to see people with like 7 heads and tentacles.
It is very myopic to call it Miss Universe. I agree.
Ridiculous.
But I do think LA is Disneyland.
The first one is Disneyland.
Was LA the first one?
I assume the first one has to be Disneyland.
I actually don't know.
Disney World feels more modern.
Mm.
Feels like they were trying to up it. Like be like, oh, it's bigger than land. It's the world.
I think so. I think Disneyland came. I'm putting my money on it. Disneyland came first.
I agree.
It's the OG.
Yes.
And then they're like, we can make more money on this, but where will it be cheaper to do this? And then they're like, Florida. And then thus came Disney World.
I have no edits on that theory.
Now, after the final rose, Joan and Chock, they come out.
Jock. It's only
Or
Jock.
choke.
It's choke.
I said choke earlier.
Well, you're just choosing a syllable in Joan's name. That's not fair. This is not how it works. It's either Choan or Jock. I think we both know which one it's going to be.
It's sweet how Chock goes on about how respectful she was to all the guys. Like he really talks her up.
Yeah.
And he says that one of the reasons he fell in love with her was not only her dignity, but the dignity she gave everyone.
Yeah.
I thought this was nice.
Yeah,
It was
he's
like
very nice.
Very respectful.
You know
thing
what
to say.
Chock is? Chock is the guy who you want to bring when you go on a business lunch.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, you could be hungover,
Yeah.
like having like a fugue state, like you're completely mentally not there.
Yeah.
And he's like, Chock, can you come with me? I'm meeting the CEO.
It's
He's
so
like,
true.
I will come with you. Yeah. I actually have some free time in my schedule.
That's a good impression, Andy.
Yeah.
No, I feel like Chock is a professional schmoozer.
Yeah. He always knows how to, you know what Chock does well? Small talk. Could you imagine
Yes.
you're like with Chock and you have to have small talk and Chock doesn't know what to say. He's like,
No, it's impossible.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah.
He will make small talk out of anything. He's that guy. He's the guy. You say, I like fishing. Chock's got 10 hours of small talk on fishing. You
Yeah.
say, I like college football. I mean, Chock's, he'll go for a week on college football.
Well, so speaking of which, what was this college football thing? Well, I seriously didn't know what happened when Jesse says that Joan is a huge college football fan. And you said, oh, really?
Yeah.
Why did you say, oh, really? Actually, were you surprised by this? Or do we think this is even true?
I feel like, I
I think it's not true.
It was
They were
being
trying to
tongue-in-cheek?
plug it.
Oh, so she doesn't like college football.
I don't know if
but
she
Chock does. So he's being sarcastic.
No, it was Jesse who said Chock didn't say anything about college football.
So neither of them like college football.
I think that they had to promote college football. Suddenly this big trophy appeared next to Jesse. And I think the segue was like, well, Joan, we know you're a big fan of college football. And she was like, oh, yep.
Yeah. Love college football. Love all the teams with the colors and the rah-rah. Love that college football.
What was with this? This was really, sometimes they'll promote something and I'll be like, wow, that really didn't fit. Or that, sometimes it'll kind of capture my attention. But this, I was really like, I don't even know what happened. Like, I just literally don't know what they were advertising.
Some college football I was supposed to be watching?
He said something about 8 teams to 12 teams. Or
you know what it was? Jesse's doing the commentating for this college football thing.
Oh, is he?
I mean, I don't know anything about college
Jesse's
football.
really on fire right now.
Jesse, Jesse's a money machine.
He is.
Jesse is so in demand.
Yeah.
What does that feel like? Just like every day you wake up, you're like, if I want to make money, I just go do something. Like there's nothing that Jesse can't do when it comes to commentating.
Yeah.
And everyone wants
He's
him.
so versatile. The sports
The
and baking
Bachelor?
shows,
Do
the
you
baking
know-
shows.
Sports, baking, and Bachelor. If someone said to me, name 3 things that if you had to host, you couldn't possibly do all 3.
Yeah.
I would say sports, baking, and Bachelor.
Yes, I agree. I feel like I could only do 2 of those.
Which ones? Baking and I assume Bachelor.
Yeah. I mean,
Sadly, I would most like to see you do sports. That would be amazing.
Oh, I mean, it might be amusing, but I really think I would be best. Ironically, considering I did host Bachelor in Paradise Canada, I think I would be best at hosting a baking show.
Wait, you think you would be best? I think there's no one in the world who would be better than you at hosting. No one I've ever met in my life respects baking more than you.
I really, yeah. And I'm a real, like, I'm picky.
I feel like
I have better taste in dessert than I have taste in anything.
If you
including clothes, by the way.
No one has better taste in dessert. And it's not, doesn't mean no one likes dessert more. No one respects dessert more than this woman right here.
Thank you. Wait, oh my God, that's my new dream. I want us to host a baking show.
Should we try to host Is It Cake?
I think
not really a baking
he's got
show.
that pretty cornered.
Yeah, he's pretty good with that. Yeah. Okay. We could start a baking
We're going to
show.
work on this though.
Okay.
Okay.
Shaking? It's a good thing this season's coming to an end.
So Chock and Joan are still very happy. There is a very funny segment where they make fun of Chock for always saying he's crazy about Joan. There was a lovely moment where Joan gives viewers a pep talk about how hope isn't enough. You need action. And Chock is like, yes,
Yeah.
action.
Action. There should be a love song about action.
And the show, what? There should be a love song about action?
Love song about action.
Maybe you should compose it, Andy.
Oh. Action is what you want to take in love. That hope, that's for live. Sorry. Okay. What?
The show tells them they're sending Joan and Chock and their families to Disney World. They're quick to say Disney World in Florida.
Disney World, yeah,
Yes.
you gotta be careful.
Yeah. And Andy, I have to out you because at this moment I turned to you, and at this point I'd already been poking you for a while to keep you awake, and at this point you fully were snoring.
Yeah.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I actually fondly remember how delightful it felt to slip into unconsciousness.
I think that as one gets older, jet lag is harder and harder to get past.
I still haven't, I'm fully in it. I feel it every day.
Yeah. And it's only
5 hours.
5 hours.
But for 2 months.
We were there for 2 months. For some reason,
It's brutal.
we've been home for a week and a half and we are struggling.
I can't shake it.
Yeah.
10 o'clock rolls around and I'm like, it's like I'm on like Ambien or something.
Yeah. Okay. We have a preview of Grant's season now. I did laugh really hard at how, because Grant's singing it's very cute.
It's cute.
It is very
it's
cute.
endearing.
But I don't know if it's like
It's not soundtrack level.
No, they used him singing as the soundtrack of the preview for his season, which for me wasn't really. I mean, it was working in a funny way.
Who made that choice? I want to know if that person did it with tongue and cheek.
I think
tongue in cheek or tongue in cheek.
Tongue in
cheek.
Yeah,
it's not tongue and cheek.
I had to put my tongue in.
I mean,
my
you're
cheek
always doing it with tongue and cheek. You can't do anything without tongue and cheek,
it's
unless
true.
you're missing a tongue or a cheek.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Why? Why'd you do that?
Sorry.
Turns out Grant has a lone wolf tattoo. That seems to be a theme. Can he find his partner? Is he destined to be alone forever?
I like to be told that someone's a lone wolf by a lone wolf tattoo.
That's what I thought was interesting about this. Yeah. So I have been called a lone wolf before too.
Why don't you have a tattoo?
You're
not a complete lone wolf without the tattoo.
Yeah, something about him having a tattoo of the thing about himself that he was supposedly afraid of being or becoming or remaining, I thought was an interesting choice.
I'm not sure you're a lone wolf if you have a lone wolf tattoo. I think it might take you out of lone wolf contention.
I'm not that's true. And I'm not sure you have an issue with being a lone wolf if you get a lone wolf tattoo.
Maybe you want to be a lone wolf, but you're not a full lone wolf. Maybe you strive for lone wolfdom. Maybe he's surrounded by friends, but he wants to be a lone wolf, but he's not fully embracing his destiny of lone wolfdom.
So he gets a tattoo to help embrace it?
Yeah, so his tattoo basically is like, you're a lone wolf. We'll remind you every day. It's right on your arm that you're a lone wolf, but you can go about your business being like not really a lone wolf.
I kind of know what you mean. There's something about having a lone wolf tattoo that to me is a little too demonstrative. It feels like you would be a lone wolf just by being a lone wolf, not by
there's nothing,
reminding yourself on your forearm that you're a lone wolf.
There's nothing that should remain unsaid more than being a lone wolf. You don't say, hey, I'm a lone wolf.
That's the ultimate show don't tell. You don't need to
everyone sees like that guy's
tell
a lone
the
wolf.
world.
The lone wolf is one of those things that other people tell you you are. You don't say I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah.
Unless you're such a lone wolf that you're actually a wolf who's alone. All right, let's get on to his season quickly. This is getting out of control.
Okay, Andy, that brings us to the end of this episode. Our word watch, there were 0 fingers, and that's entirely my fault that there was 0.
Don't do that again.
I'm really sorry.
Let me pick the word watch. It's my business.
You're right. It is your business. I should have let you use knee, even though it's tradition. And so there was 0, and our winner of a fantastic prize, $200 in Our Place products.
But it's a good prize.
I mean, Our Place, we're talking kitchenware, cookware. We are low-key obsessed with
It'll be
Our
the
Place
last
things.
thing that this person whose name you're about to say ever cooks with. That's my prediction.
Yes. Congratulations to Ingrid Pagaza. You are the winner of this fabulous prize. Please email us by this Monday at midnight to claim. Monday? We'll give you till Tuesday at midnight to claim your prize because this is coming out on Friday.
But let's be honest, I'm a softie.
I know.
I'll still give it
We
to
are
her.
softies.
Yeah.
But we have to have rules.
I've never done that.
I know, but
we've had that happen. I've never done it.
We have rules.
We have rules. Maybe one day I'll stick to it. I'll be in a bad mood and I'll be like, you know what? It's 12:01 a.m. and you are not getting your Our Place pen.
We are softies with our shandies. We really are.
Yeah.
But yes, that's your deadline, Ingrid. Don't miss it. And Andy, shall we move on to our predictions? No, I mean when we recap our night 1 predictions.
Oh.
This is a thing we do.
I actually don't remember. Oh, I do. It's Keith. Keith.
No. I remember because I wrote it down because I reviewed things because I am prepared here.
Okay.
So we're going to go over our premiere predictions and just, compare notes and then decide who was
gonna be ugly.
a little more. It is going to be ugly. And it's your fault. Speaking of something being someone's fault, because I thought Chock was a front runner.
I remember. I'm giving you full credit.
You were so on about Gary's season that I put a lot of stock in your
It was the name.
credibility.
I was thrown by his name.
Chock.
That's not a real name.
We never got an explanation.
It's not a name.
We never got
No one has a name. Find another Chock. Does anyone know a Chock anywhere? So how many Shandys do we have? Tens of thousands. Does anyone know a Chock other than this one? It's not a real name.
But we were supposed to get some sort of an explanation.
We never got anything. Just Chock.
Chock.
It's not a name. I stand by it.
That's a bummer. I really wanted that. Okay, so we both thought Keith would be winning.
Wow.
Oof, that hurts. That one hurts.
I mean, look, to be honest.
He did win the first impression rose.
First impression roses with bachelorettes tend to stick.
Absolutely.
I was just going by history.
Yeah. And in our defense, Keith kind of crumbled after he wasn't the kind of person that was like, oh, I'm going to be more myself now that I have attention on me.
Keith is like one of those players who in the playoffs, like I was a Yankee fan and I know chokers in the playoffs.
Okay.
Alex Rodriguez.
Uh-huh. He choked.
Aaron Judge.
Oh.
Choke. During the regular season, they're like superheroes. It's literally like watching Batman play baseball.
Wow.
And the playoffs, it's like me playing baseball.
Wow.
And he is an Alex Rodriguez. Keith?
Yeah, Keith.
Keith, sorry. I forgot. It's been a long time. He is a choker.
Oh.
He's a great opener and not a closer.
I think he went, as I've said in a previous recap, I think he went on the show as a lark, not thinking much would come of it. And then he suddenly gets the first impression rose. He suddenly realizes that he really likes her. And then he kind of just starts unraveling.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Keith.
No, I like chokers. Chokers, you know what chokers are? They're people with depth.
They are.
They're complicated people.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez, complicated guy. I bet you hang out with Alex Rodriguez, you're like, oh, I see why you choke now. You got like good human flaws. I like you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. You think a little maybe too deeply when you shouldn't. And that I would honestly rather spend my time with someone like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
A strong closer I'm suspicious of.
Yeah.
Why are you such a strong closer? Why does it mean so much to you?
Yeah,
to
why
close?
don't you overthink when you should
Yeah, you
not
should
be
neurotic.
overthinking?
Where's your neurosis?
Okay, so in second, we both had Guy.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a place win. Place. Win, place, show in horse racing.
Okay.
You bet the winner is the first, and then place is second, and show is third.
Okay.
That's a place win. That's a
Wow.
strong, I mean, to win a place, that's a very strong win in
Okay,
horse racing.
so we did well.
Very well.
But we're tied. We're not doing better than the other here.
No.
Okay, in third, I had Dan.
Oh, I like Dan too.
And you had Mark. You did a little better than me.
That's pretty good. Yeah, sort of.
And in fourth, I had Michael.
Who's Michael?
Michael,
oh,
the
Michael
one
the
with
rich guy.
Yeah. He's so rich that he could retire and talk about how blue his flowers were.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael.
And you had Dan.
Mm.
So, wow, this was kind of a little bit of a weak showing. And in our wild card spots, we both had two. We both had Jonathan.
Yeah.
And I think this might edge me a little ahead of you. I had Jordan.
Yeah.
And you had Michael.
Weak.
Okay,
Weak
yeah,
all around.
We sucked at this.
Well, we said at the outset, this is impossible to predict.
I mean, we said in that first recap that it was really hard to predict because we just didn't know Joan's type.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have a slightly better idea now. And it's so obvious that she and Chock are right for each other that I feel stupid for ever thinking it could have been anyone else. But, you know, this overall was feel good.
Such a feel good season.
I really, I
Yeah.
think that there's a chance. Am I crazy?
A
There's
chance for what?
that they can work.
Oh, I think there's a real chance.
You said 4 months. I said 6 months.
I'm telling you, I'm going back on it. I think you win. I'm going over. Way over.
Even with the distance.
Even with the distance.
Okay.
Okay, now you're making me second guess.
Well, they're going to have their pied a terre in New York.
Oh, that's right. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah, maybe we'll run into them.
Yeah.
Have a love fest. with
And
us.
okay, if we do manage to get them on a love fest, and maybe they won't say yes, but if we do,
In person.
we
Oh.
have to get Chock to do an impression of a reverse
Oh my
mortgage sales
God.
pitch.
That may be the whole love fest. Yeah.
And on that note, Andy, that is a wrap.
Wow.
This for the
Another
season.
one in the books.
Another one. If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and
TikTok.
leave us Apple and
Spotify.
podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends, and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. We look forward to seeing you here next week to recap Love is Blind Season 7. I know we're behind, but hopefully it'll still be interesting. And if you have not been watching, definitely watch along with us. I kind of like watching things off season.
Me too.
It makes
Feels special.
it has a different vibe to it, and you can kind of take your time and
It
like
was everyone, they had their initial gut reactions.
Yes.
And now we can have a more measured reaction. Although ours will be gut.
yeah.
But
I think
in a
it's
measured environment.
I actually think it's fun for people to have had the gut reaction to then hear other people like they've seen the end of the movie that we haven't seen yet.
Oh, that's true. It's like watching a movie with someone that you've seen.
Yeah.
And you love the movie and you wanted them to see it, and then you annoy them the whole movie. Be like, oh, this is a good scene. This is a good thing that's coming up.
And you're like, my lips are sealed. I'm not telling you
Yeah,
what's
I'm
happening.
not telling you what this is going to be good. Oh, watch it. Keep watching. Keep watching. It's going to happen. It's
That's
going to
what
happen
people
soon.
are-
Watch. It's
people
going to
are
happen.
totally
God, how
doing that.
annoying is that?
Okay,
I've done that, by the way.
We'll see you here next week on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.
Ah!
Ruby. Oh my God. Is there anything cuter? Your Chock. What does that mean? Oh.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. She
She's
makes
so
everything
sweet.
better.
Oh,
Not that anything was that bad.
she's the best.
Oh my God. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
We'll
Look
see-
at yourself.
We'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.